Mä rupean vetää introa. Another Sunday and time for some more Tier 5 madness here at Aero League Racing. Good evening everyone, my name is alluPallu and tonight we are racing in Singapore. The last race of this 3-race Asia stint before heading into the season finale in Brazil. Hello Erminator, best of luck for your Tier 3 endeavors. And good evening to you Reaperman. And Mike, good luck to you too. Hope to see you contesting for the points. Just keep it out of the walls and keep it clean. You should be fine. Weekend's festivities are just a memory, and we set our sights to racing in Singapore. Exciting 23-turn street track in Marina Bay, part of the town in Singapore. Track difficulty, Codemaster's saying it's very hard, and I think that is correct. Lots of 90-degree turns and plenty of very tight spots in the, especially in the middle parts of the track. Notorious Singapore sling, of course, having been removed, but that particular section is still very tricky, especially that quick right-hander across the bridge to the very hard braking zone, the hairpin. I'm passing you some luck. Good luck, Erminator. You can do it, man. Yo, Doublade, my man. Back again in the race. Let's see who we got. Also with the standings. So yeah, heading into the penultimate round of the season. It's Denja, currently in the championship lead with 133 points. Apex Turbo in his Alfa Romeo is currently sat in second. Just 8 points behind, so basically anyone's game still. And the third driver with a mathematical possibility to still prevail. Well, of course, there's still plenty more who have, but it would appear that the top 6 still have a mathematical chance of winning the title, albeit highly unlikely. But the third driver to contest is Denja's teammate in the Sister Williams, and that would be Fontenau. In fourth we got Sabetti, who is present, my teammate in the Nations Cup madness we had earlier this week. Was a bit of fun though, and we as Finland progressed to the final, which is nice. Zab, the Ukrainian driver in the Renault, currently sat in 5th. And Slimy in his Racing Point, the Lithuanian driver, 6th driver, still with a chance at the title, albeit highly unlikely for Slimy and Zab, and possibly Sabetti too. But it's still possible, everything is possible, and I hope we're gonna have some delicious drama here. Others we got present here today are Reaper Dude, Wicked Prophet, who made his debut last time out, Mike Sands, the most entertaining driver on the grid. And there's Doublade, my dear friend, Steven, Nichols Cam, who's shown some great pace lately, and Purvis Age. Come back. Mercedes driver. Doublade, you need to win here. I promise I'll blush. Hey, thanks Mel. It's always great to hear that you're enjoying my commentary. Last time out, I gotta admit, I had been partying for the whole weekend, drinking multiple days in a row, so I was a bit tired, but I think it went well. And yeah, glad to hear you're enjoying my comms. I really enjoy doing these broadcasts, so good that the people who have to watch it back enjoy it as well. Pretty high probability for rain around Singapore, and usually not even the intermediate step. It goes very easily straight to full wet, as the track isn't that high on grip. But we're of course hoping for a dry race here tonight. Also, Singapore a very long track, with the average lap times of being somewhere a tad over 140s. As you can see, the real life lap record of 141.9 is probably gonna get trashed. It's dry. But if it's wet, then it would be maybe even plus 2-minute laps. So this ought to be a long one. Almost ready to go. 16 drivers present. Cillian has made it, the Irish driver. So 16 drivers here tonight. Pretty good turnout. I personally don't know if there's any Euro Cup games going on at the moment, because I honestly stopped following once Finland was knocked out. Clock reaches zeros, and here we go. If you're currently racing, I would very much appreciate a weather forecast for the sessions around the Singapore track. Nice race, of course, so that's also very nice. I wish they had more, as racing under the lights looks very nice, especially in a city-like environment. Bahrain is nice, but that's also only due to the temperatures being high in the Middle East. And we're off with the qualifying session that seemingly is dry. Love to see it. And it will be a dry race, so our drivers here are at luck. First car round. Tracks that would be Denja, I think. Yes, it will. So our championship leader setting off first to get grips of the Marina Bay street circuit. Not an awful lot of overtaking spots, but here's one of them. Technically the first DRS straight of a whole lap. Of course, ERS management is gonna play a role here, as drivers tend to go neck and neck to the end of that straight. And it's plenty of 90-degree corners. To the corner that was formerly known as the Singapore Sling. The chicane has luckily been removed because it seemed more like a ramp. Then the very exciting braking zone over the bridge under the hairpin. For the second DRS straight on the circuit. Not exactly an overtaking spot this, but still is there. Then to the very technical third sector, where it's 90-degree corner city. Under the bridge and the grandstands here. And then the final right and left combination for Denja to start the first lap around the final corner, which he takes flat, so a very nice start, good exit. As the first corner is this kind of a combination of corners, it will be interesting to see how our drivers will cope on the first lap, as Denja has a bit of a moment, losing the rear a bit, but correcting very nicely. Denja, the Irish driver, probably hungry for that W, but I think he has gone invalid. So that will be his green time then. What about Cam setting the purple in the first sector, of course, being the first driver out on a valid lap time. Cam Inchett for the past few races has shown increasing pace, so will be interesting to see if this will be a track where he can prevail. Plenty of different drivers with Apex Turbo, I believe, being the only driver to prevail more than once, with 3 wins. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. As Cam with the soft compounded tire is making good progress on his time lap. Seemingly getting all the exits pretty well. Of course the track will be improving during the session, so I wouldn't expect this to last till the end of the session. As Cam Midget goes invalid on the penultimate corner and heads for the pits. So we will not have a lap time in. How about Reaper Dude? Can he do it? We'll see in just a moment. Of course, these blast corners here are tricky. You can cut them just this tiny bit. As Reaper Dude, I believe, was only having his installation lap, or maybe had damage. Nichols behind him is invalid and will come into the pits. What about Zab? Oh, actually, Wicked Prophet is there first, and he will be the first to set the lap time of 1:39 flat. Followed by his teammate behind. What will he do? He goes even faster by 2 seconds, so 1:37.1 is currently the time to beat. Next car around the track would be a Haas of Sabetti, but is invalid. So for the first time in a long time we get to see the second Mercedes also, as here's Cillian rounding out the final corner on a fast lap and goes fastest by nearly a second with 1:36.3. Very nice lap from him. As I believe Dublade on the medium tire comes around the final corner to start his lap. So let's see. Whoa, and Cillian gets a 5-place grid penalty for blocking. That's really unfortunate. Was someone of those cars on a flying lap as Dublade taps the wall and will interrupt his lap? But man, that was not ideal for Cillian, who's at least early here seems to have the pace to challenge for the higher grid positions. What about Fontenau? He's just started his lap. Our third place sitter in the driver's standings. Does not go purple on the first sector at least. So yeah, Singapore being one of those tracks in the calendar where the usually not the fastest drivers can actually do well, as the very close proximity of the walls tends to cause damage, and for the best drivers even to pit if there's a tiniest mistake. I believe Fontenau might just be playing it safe. Plenty of traffic in third sector. Apex Turbo getting out of the way very nicely. What about the drivers ahead? Freaking Haas of Dublade gets out of the way nicely. And so does everyone else. So let's see. Fontenau running out the final corner. Can he challenge for the provisional pole? No. He lifts at the final corner. Can set a lap, but not exactly the fastest one. The Apex Turbo started his lap, so we'll stick with him. Was Fontenau trying to get the tow from Apex? Maybe he did, as Apex Turbo goes purple on the first sector. No sense really trying to get the tow here, as the dirty air on this twisty track is more often to a disadvantage more than an advantage. Let's see, Apex set the purple first sector and does the same in the second, so it will be a relatively competitive time. Taking a lot of curb, as Mike says, unfortunately have to retire and Apex invalidates, and that would be his lap. Here's Cam coming out of the final corner to set the new fastest time of 1:36.2. Very nice lap from him. As I told you before, he might be the one to challenge. Maybe even the top dogs. Here's Reaper. Now in the medium tire. For some reason my UI is showing that he's on the soft tire, but he is not. There we go. Steers this Red Bull quite nicely through the final corners. Let's see what will he be able to do. It will be a third fastest time of 1:36.9. Very nice lap from Reaper Dude. Here's his teammate Nichols coming to the pits. Here's Sabetti, who also has a mathematical chance. Goes fifth with 1:37.3. So the time lapse are steadily pouring in. Oh, and Romp has also made it to the scene and has managed to set a 1:37.6. A very pacey driver. He also. Yeah, Mike, you see, I had accidentally set the detail on best, thus I couldn't see what tires the driver were on at the moment. As here's Steven, who's had to pull off. He has gone invalid with his lone Ferrari. And comes to the pit straight away. Let's see, Dublade heading out for another attempt. The medium tires definitely didn't seem to work on that Haas. On the first corner nicely. Very good entry on that turn, and the exit will come automatically at that specific turn. Of course, the track limit penalties might play a role. There's plenty of spots in, especially in the last sector, where you can invalidate. Oh, and Squid has made it to the scene as well. Very nice. Let's see if he'll be able to hop on one of the cars, or will he have to start from the back. So 6 minutes remaining in the session, and Denja still does not have a time. Currently the medium tires are fitted on his car, so let's see if he'll opt for the alternate strategy. The final corners comes to Blade. Nearly had the entry all kinds of wrong there, but managed to correct, and will be able to set a time of 1:39.2. Gets into the top 10s, but not permanently. Possibly a Zab just behind him has managed to edge out Cam by 2/100ths of a second, and the new provisional pole time of being 1:36.221. Very nice lap from Zab. Teammate follows suit and improves, I think, maybe. Anyway, Apex Turbo on his lap has gone invalid, so will not set a lap time this time around the track. Still has time for another run if he wishes to pit. But the clock is winding down, so he needs to be really swift on his pit stop. Yes, he will come in. Alrighty then. Currently our second place sitter Cam has gone purple by 3 whole tenths in the first sector, so he will definitely be a pole contender here tonight. Let's see how the rest of his lap goes. Nicely run the hairpin. Get good grip on the exit, so the track probably is improving. Still that 3/10 ahead on the second sector, so this just might be our new provisional pole time. But let's see this through first. Sponta now has opted to go out on the medium tire. Anyways, here's Cam rounding out the final corner. Will he go pole on this lap? Yes, he will. Going into the 1:35s and improving by 6 whole tenths is our new pole sitter. Very nice lap from Cam. Let's see who's out on a lap. Of course, we gotta remember Cillian has to take that 5-place grid penalty from blocking. That we unfortunately cannot take away. I got myself one in Monza last season, where we were just cruising around with an in-lap in a train, just trying to get the cars past us. But 5 places down I went. And if I recall correctly, I finished the race in P4. Or P2, who counts them anyways? Here's Romp short shifting furiously. I believe he might be on a cooldown lap and go for one last time. His teammate Slimmy is about to set his first timed lap of the session with 1:30 still to go. And of course with the medium tire so he can go again if necessary. But here's Slimmy on the medium tire. Bit wobbly with the rear end, but manages to go fourth with 1:36.5. Exactly 1 second behind the pole time. Very nice lap from him in the medium tires. Here's Apex starting a lap. And here's Pervisage, but I think he has pulled off. So our drivers currently setting up for their final runs. Except for Fontenau, who's on a fast lap. Romp calls it a session. And will be on 6th for now, but Fontenau and our pole-sitter Cam also thinks that this is enough. This is the best I can do. He has the pole by nearly 7/10, so he is looking strong to climb pole here today. Slimmy managed to go fourth on the medium tire. What about Fontenau then? Hasn't switched on his battery, so he is not gonna improve on this lap. Session winds down to a close. And Fontenau will not have the time to set one more lap unless my clock is incorrect. Anyways, here's Cillian with an empty battery, so not probably improving. And Apex Turbo manages to go second. Very nice buzzer beater of a lap. What about Sabetti then? Pulls out and goes for the pits. It will be P6 for him unless there will be improvements here late. And Denja is still out on a lap, where our championship leader will place. He must get this lap right to get any sort of grid position from here. Denja, for the final driver around the final corner, manages to go 1:36.6 and will start in P6 as Cillian has to take that grid penalty. And I believe that will be our starting grid for the race. With Cam Edgett with the dominant performance in qualifying, the only driver is able to get into the 1:35s. A very nice lap from him. Thoroughly deserved. Followed by Apex. Apex who completes the front row. Alright, and looking down further to the grid, we have Zab and Slimmy on the second row, as Cillian has to take that penalty. Sabetti and Denja in the third one. Romp, and I believe now it's Cillian in 7th and 8th. No, that can't be right. Anyways, I suck at math. Confirmed. With Wicked Prophet, Doublade, Steven, Nichols, Pervisage, Noob Squid and Mike having the free tire choice for the race. It's gonna get heated, so I better grab some refreshing beverages, so be right back. So, thankfully it will be a dry race around the Singapore Marina Bay circuit, with Cam leading the way as the drivers have started the formation lap. Dublade and Steven get together on the formation lap, and it will be cold tires for them. Now let's see, what tires are our drivers starting on? So plenty of medium runners on a race that will surely be a two-stop if you wish to use the soft compound tires. As Dublade has opted to start on the hards, which will definitely go long, so he might be thinking one stop, and so probably will be the medium runners if they pick hards for the second stint. So it will be 31 laps around the long Singapore street circuit. We get a nice view from the bridge and then to the hairpin. I believe with tier 5 we are almost surely gonna see a safety car, maybe even 3. Of course that's not what I hope, but an early safety car will help the soft runners to go longer. And I believe the wear rates around Singapore are pretty high, so those softs are gonna melt rather quickly. The AI takes over and guides our drivers to the grid. Apex has had some kind of connection issue. I don't have him friended, so I can invite him, but please, if you are racing, do invite him back. As Mike Sands will take the last grid spot here. And we are all but ready to start the Singapore Grand Prix. It's 5 lights. And away we go. A very lengthy start sequence. With everyone getting away well. Apex Turbo's AI in the thick of it. Denja goes for a spin. That's really unfortunate as the driver slid around the first corners with seemingly everyone getting away. Apart from Steven, who's, I think he's had to retire. Cam still leading the way, with Zap claiming the second position over Apex Turbo's AI. And man oh man, that will hurt Apex Turbo in the championship. Let's just hope he manages to rejoin. Mike Sands really climbing the positions during the first lap, currently in 11th behind Pervisage. As the Williams pair have unfortunately got caught up in the back in the early stages, so If Apex Turbo manages to rejoin, he has a major opportunity here to claim the championship lead. There we go, so he's managed to join back. Thankfully, only losing a handful of positions during the first laps. As the first lap of racing seems to be complete, and Cam Midget sprints into a lengthy 2-second lead. Slimmy goes for a move past Zap in the first corner and seemingly getting it stick on the medium tire. Very nice move from him. As the first track limit penalties are pouring in. A Reproduce thinking to follow suit, like Slimmy, and manages to get past rather easily. As the scoreboard is doing all sorts of something. With Cam leading the way, Slimmy in second, Reaper in third, and Zap now in fourth, followed by Sabetti, who has got a bit of a gap to Wicked Prophet. DRS will be enabled this lap. Or actually no, it will be enabled later. There we go, now it seems that it's working right. Sabetti cuts the corner and gets the 3-second penalty already in lap 2, not optimal, as we're probably gonna have plenty of those. Just hoping to see the gaps. As Gamage it goes fastest, but Slimmy goes even faster and is seemingly narrowing down the lead, which is now only 1.2 seconds. Now it will be interesting to see Slimmy looking really fast on that medium compound tire. And will get the DRS. It should be able to gain on Cam quite quickly. Apex Turbo, I don't know, has had a moment and lost his front wing. And yet more connection issues, that's very unfortunate, as the Williams pairing of Fontenau and Denja now chasing Mike for 10th. Mike struggling a bit with his back end. Oh, tapping the wall, hopefully there is no damage, as Fontenau looks to challenge around the outside, but no space there. Denja furiously trying to hunt the position with his teammate. It's almost like in the real life race tonight when Lando Norris was defending from the Mercedes pair. No spoilers though, as Mike squeezes Fontenau to the wall. They get tangled up, and Fontenau now has damage to his name. That's very unfortunate. Let's see if Denja will have better luck trying to catch Mike. But yeah, so Fontenau now falling behind Noob Squid is probably going to have the pit. As Denja has a look around the outside, but Mike places his McLaren firmly on the inside line. Denja goes for a move, and Mike somehow keeps his McLaren on the circuit, but seemingly will lose out to Denja here. The DRS assistance aiding Denja for the pass. Meanwhile ahead, the gaps at the top are narrowing down. Reaper Dude with also with the medium tires is now chasing Slimmy for second. Let's see, will there be a move on the second DRS straight off the circuit? Across the bridge and the DRS straight. Now let's see who gets the better exit. Seemingly it's Slimmy. manages to take a full 4/10 off Cam only during that straight there. So the grid has seemingly spread into these kind of groups. There's the top three, which are very close to each other, and Cam opts for the pits. Was there damage or what happened? That we must take a look on, as the pit window was opening for the medium stint anyway. No front wing change, so this was a planned pit stop. So the softs hit the cliff rather quickly, it would seem, as Reaper now gets the DRS assistance on Slimmy. Slimmy nearly used all of his DRS already. The Reaper just holding back for now. There's yellow flags in the first sector, and it seems that it's Mike. Unfortunately loses parts of his front wing. Looked promising when he was defending from the Williams, but still manages to rejoin in 11th. Probably has to pit though, as Romp gets the new fastest lap of the race. At the back now, racing with Fontenau. Let's see, Reaper dude really close, nearly inside Slimmy's gearbox now with the DRS assistance going to the second straight. Will hold back for now, but I believe at the end of the main straight there might be an overtaking opportunity. Let's see, everything depends on the exit. As Cam has come back out in 10th, with some clear air ahead of him. Oh, and Slimmy taps the wall. Was there damage? I think yes there will, because he will up to the pits, and Reaper dude is your new race leader in the Red Bull. Let's see now if Slimmy has to replace that front wing. Zap speeds into the pits. And yes, Slimmy had damage, so he's gotta switch front wings. Another set of mediums comes on, so he will have to stop once more. Gets held up by a bit by Zap, who manages to jump him. In the pits, there's yellows in sector 3. That's Mike yet again, but seems to get away again. Anyways, the Red Bull pairing really looking strong here, with Reaper in the lead and Nichols in third. Now chasing the second placed Wicked Prophet, but we gotta keep in mind though that these guys still have to pit. At least once. The others really opting for a fat undercut. Slimmy has got past Zab. But did I see right? Nope. Slimmy still has an intact front wing. So fair and square, at least as far as I can tell. Meanwhile, our race leader, provisional race leader, sorry, is chasing Purvis H for P5. McLaren against the Mercedes. Purvis H in recharge mode with the CRS. With Cam being the far faster car here. There's a Mercedes of Cillian round in the second sector. Unfortunate. Hopefully that won't cause a safety car. No, it won't, as he gets back underway. Cam being really cautious here with the DRS open. Cannot get the run he would have wanted, and Purvis H will retain his P5 for now. Ooh, goes very wide and has some wing damage, and Cam gets the P5 with relative ease. Slimmy has got past Noob Squid meanwhile on the main straight. Now being furiously chased by Zab. Will there be a move? Zab taps the back of Noob Squid. and has his front wing pieces flying around. Will that cause Zap to have to pit again? That remains to be seen. Will it affect the pace? As Romp and Apex having a race of their own at the back. Apex getting P12 off of Romp. And seemingly retaining his position. Drivers with equal tires. There's been a moment involving Noob Squid at the bridge. There's a car sideways and that will be a safety car. The first one so far. That will allow people to change their wings. That will allow people to change their wings and tires if needed. And for Doublade to catch up. Drive-through penalty for Cam. Did he go too fast against the Delta? There's all sorts of penalties pouring in. Cam comes to the pits. I don't know for what reason, because you cannot serve drive-through penalties behind the safety car. So there might have been a hasty strategy change for him. Another set of mediums going on, so he has to pit once more. And in addition has to serve that drive-through not under the safety car. As we take a look at penalties, Reaper Dude in the race lead is looking very strong with no penalties to his name. Of course, some of the 5-second penalties get served in the pits now. Strategically, if you're prone to those, it's very wise to serve them all during the safety car so that they won't mess up your finishing standings. So yeah, after this round of pit stops, Nichols with the hard tires is probably thinking to go to the end. Mediums definitely won't make it, or if they will, it will be a definite stretch. If the soft tires go for only 5 to 7 laps, mediums mustn't go more than 15 tops. Anyways, this is very good for Doublade. He was falling behind after what I think were moments on the first lap. Additional pit stops, and usually after that the lead drivers get too far and you have no chance of challenging in the end. Back has now caught up to the safety car and we will probably drive a lap or maybe 2 behind it. Doublade rejoins the track just ahead of it. As we take a look at the positions gained, Purvis Age in second after starting in 15th. Of course, he has to pit again, but still the biggest gainer here. Whereas Sab, after that contact and what I think he should have done is pitted for a fresh front wing, and he has done just that, has fallen 9 positions compared to his starting position. With Nichols gaining 8 and Reaper Dude in the lead, gaining 7 positions on the first laps, but he's looking very solid for a good result here. Of course, he has to get through the restart and the pit stops, Purvis Age and Reaper Dude the only ones not to pit, so they really need to stretch out and build a gap if they wish to retain those good positions after safety car period. As I think we're gonna have to do a couple more laps, at least one. So, as it stands, Denja would be extending his championship lead by... maths. So yeah, as it stands, Denja would be extending his championship lead to 12 points, which is a good amount. Considering the next time out will be a season finale. What is very nice to see that this championship battle is probably going to go right down the wire. The final laps. Of course, Sabetti with a strong result like this would even out the gap and get closer. And it would be enough to mathematically contest for the championship win in the last round, but coming from that much behind might just not be possible. No constructor standings, by the way. RDO, if you're hearing this, I would very much like to have them, at least for the season finale. And the safety car will be in this lap. It will be Reaper Dude leading the way. And Mike is telling me in the chat that there still might be a rain period in the race. So 5 minutes until rain. That would probably save Reaper Dude, as if everyone needs to pit and Reaper Dude can stretch out his tires and keep his lead. He might be in a very strong position to maybe even win here. As from the bottom right corner of the screen you can see the green bar. That is the throttle pedal of Reaper Dude. Safety car soon is in the pit lane. I think Reaper Dude has went. Game has restricted him just this tiny bit. Pervisage also has to slow down. Sabetti goes for a move on the outside of Pervisage. Pervisage outbrakes himself. Does not make the corner, but Sabetti loses a handful of position thanks to that. With Slimmy and Wicked Prophet getting past the both of them. There is a Mercedes of Cillian round in the first corner, unfortunately. Hopefully he can continue. We wouldn't want more safety cars to happen. So yeah, so Reaper Dude seemed to go a tad too early, and thus does not get the best restart possible, but is able to retain his lead. For now at least, because the drivers behind of him have much newer tires on. But if there is a rain period, as Denja and Pervisage are fighting for positions, with Denja seemingly prevailing, as Pervisage would seem to be struggling a bit. Oh, and Wicked Prophet goes way wide in the hairpin. And we'll have the rejoin at the back. And Cam gets to capitalize on Pervisage, but remember, he's got to serve that drive-through of his. But if there is a rain period, if there is another safety car thanks to that, as Mike Sands seemingly has crashed, it has not been a nice few laps for Pervisage, as cars are going left and right. Of course, with wing damage and worn tires, you simply cannot fight against drivers in the better tires. The Slimmy is now challenging for the lead on the start-finish straight. DRS, of course, not yet available. Just one more lap, and Romp retires. on the main straight. No idea what happened there, but there it is, the Racing Point losing it without its front suspension, and that will cause the second safety car. And this will benefit Reaper massively. If the rain comes, he's probably dancing the rain dance currently, as he needs to stretch out his tires so that he could possibly one stop. And of course, the rain being a factor our drivers cannot really do anything about. Reaper might benefit massively or lose out huge, as the looming threat of rain will pose another threat for the drivers. So, rain in a few laps. Will the rain start before the safety car comes in? It's waiting for the leader in the after the first corner combination. Anyways, it will be very interesting. And will the rain moisten the track at fast enough rate? Reaper will opt from the pits from the lead. Will he be gambling? What tires will he pick? Will he take a set of softs maybe? Just to be sure. Yes, he will, so he will be playing into the rain. It will be a quick soft stint, as good plenty of drivers are coming in for their pit stops. And the picking of the soft tires was probably the right choice here if we had to pit. As if it will start to rain, it will take 2 or 3 laps, or maybe even more, to get the track wet enough for inters. As we're probably gonna drive 2 laps, or the current and the next lap behind the safety car. And as per Mike's Jeff is telling, it should start to rain right about then. Interesting to see which of the drivers made the right choices. Purvis H has still stayed out on the worst set of mediums and with wing damage, sacrificing the performance for track position. Mike, if you want an answer, how are you P7? Oh, and there's the first drop, so the rain has started already. Did Reaper go to the pits too hastily to get the soft compound tire? How hard the rainfall will be very interesting. But yeah, Mike, so, well, safety car screwed everyone over, and the pit stop carnival. As Purvis H has now opted for the pits. Now it will be interesting for the drivers who pit. What tires will they pick? Inter's going on Purvis H's car. Definitely too early as of now. But how it will be once the safety car comes in. And hard compound tire for some reason for Camage and Wicked Prophet, I think. And Zab also has picked the medium tires. So a bit of a chaos in terms of strategies going on. It's Slimmy now in the lead, looking good. Has the tires to go until it's wet enough. So is Sabetti, Fontenau, Nooks with Dublade and Mike Sands behind. And the rest of the grid with new tires. But which was the more beneficial strategy choice? That we will see, as the only drivers without penalties are Fontenau, Noob Squid, Apex and Cam. Of course Cam had, I think he had a 5-second penalty or something. Oh yeah, it was the drive-through. He has probably served it. Mike Sands collides with Dublade and has a 5-second penalty from it. So he has to serve it in the pits, as the safety car will be in this lap. Now let's see, what will Pervisage's pace be? And of course, plenty of corners. After that hairpin, the exit is very treacherous in the wet conditions, especially if you're having worn dry tires on. So the drivers must be very careful in order to keep their cars intact. As we will now watch the restart. Limit going pretty fast. Safety car isn't even in the pit lane already. I think he has went, but the game slows him down. Hopefully there won't be any Mugello type incidents. As there is just that. Sabetti collides with Fontenau and has that 5-second penalty, but manages to edge him out. 3 wide going into turn 1, with Dublade seemingly edging out. No, it's Mike, but he has outbraked himself, and out in P4 comes Dublade. Reaper Dude also capitalizing on the 3 wide collision there. Mike is not having a great race this time out. There's another car of Cillian in the wall. And Mike Sands has had to retire on the straight. Will that be another safety car? If it will, into the pits the entire grid will come, or at least they should. Seemingly we will be resuming the race. With Slimmy having the 2-second lead, but the track conditions becoming increasingly treacherous, and there's the exit I was talking about. Basically everyone having massive amounts of wheel spin there. Dublade side by side with Apex Turbo. With Apex Turbo going for a move around the outside and seemingly getting it done. Of course with much newer tires. But yeah, so Reaper Dude might have done the correct move. Was his stop for the softs, as Fontenau in with the hards ahead is struggling. Got the corner in the process. But everyone's rear ends are just sliding everywhere. Whoa, and into the pits they will come. Apart from Reaper Dude, who still stays out. Will the softs be fast enough? He needs to dispose of Fontenau very quickly, as I think he is struggling with that set of tires. Whoa, but it isn't easy for Reaper Dude either. Madness, as nearly half of the grid has pitted for what will probably be the intermediate compound of tire. Reaper Dude now really needs to pull the gap. DRS is disabled and the rear lights of the cars come on, so there will be no overtaking assistance out of that. Crazy elevator movement for the drivers here. Fontenau and Denja being at the start, being at the back now in first and third. But I think the conditions are becoming increasingly impossible to drive with on the dry set of tires. Fontenau struggling a lot just ahead of Reaper Dude, who taps the inside wall. but seemingly has an intact front wing. Now let's see how will the drivers with the dry tires clear the exit. With a huge amount of short shifting, they will clear it, as for now. I got that for you, Mike. You had everything you needed for a good finish, but sometimes the walls can be punishing, as Pervisage has definitely benefited from switching to the intermediate tires early. He's just stuck behind Zab, trying to go for a move in a place he shouldn't. As I think the leading pack should be pitting. No, they won't. They will still stay out, but the Inters are definitely faster, so they just might be hurting their own race here. With Pervisage being the provisional race leader on the intermediate tires. Now gets past Zab, who has an adventurous line going into the pits. An Apex Turbo also fitting the intermediate tires on. Everywhere I spectate, I see a whole lot of sliding, as Slimmy has now made it past Pervisage to be the first car on the intermediate tires and should inherit the race lead. The gap is narrowing very quickly. There's just no grip, as Denja has demonstrated how difficult it is driving in the wet with the dry tires. And Slimmy is just hammering away the gap, narrowing corner by corner. Reaper Dude is still behind Fonta now, and they should rejoin somewhere around P7, P8 maybe. Slimmy has now made it past Denja, and Denja has front wing damage in addition to the dry tires. And the track is very slippery. You can just see how the car slides around, not staying on the racing line at all. Reaper Dude got the corner and goes for a move past Fonta now, but the first car around on the Inter Slimmy has already catched them. And Reaper Dude will still stay out, as will Fonta now. And it will be easy pickings for Slimmy. He zooms past Fonta now in the Williams and should probably dispose of Reaper Dude very quickly, as there is just, look at the grip difference. During a single acceleration, Slimmy got past and ripped a second gap almost immediately. As there is a Red Bull of Nichols doing stunts at the grandstand section. Everybody able to resume for now. Cam Midget and Dublade going side by side, with Cam getting the position of the Finnish driver, and Saab sees an open door and goes for it. So Dublade will fall into P11, but should probably gain a whole lot of positions, as Denja has stayed out too. These guys are seriously hurting their own races by staying out. Oh hey Rossi. Sorry that I missed tier 2 this week, but I was just having planned vacation thingy. But there was rain in tier 2 as well, I presume, at least. Savetti goes for a relatively easy move past Reaper Dude in a place where two cars shouldn't go side by side. Savetti claims the position And Reproduce should opt for the pits immediately. And does not do so. Will this rain be the same kind we had in China? Where there is a short rain period, track starts improving, and those who stayed out benefit massively. As there's... I don't know if some cars at the back are switching to the dry compounded tires. Oh man. And DRS comes alive, so it was just a short rain pour. And I think Reproduce should emerge in the lead. But I think with the soft tires he still needs to pit one more time. So 30 seconds, eh? See you in Tier 1 then next season, Rossi. Oh, and Nichols has to retire. Will this cause a safety car? As we look through the eyes of Slimmy, the rain has definitely stopped. And Nichols is in the wall, but in a pretty bad spot, but no safety car as of yet. And now the intermediate tires, which were on mostly for the drivers for only 2 laps, are now overheating, and now the sliding is with the cars on the wet tire. Yeah, Rossi, I reckon too, because I believe there's been a problem with attendance in Tier 1. And Slimmy from the race lead comes to the pits. So does Sabetti, and now Reproduce has to pull a massive gap to jump them to the end. Softs will not go from the end from here, but I think it will be hards for Slimmy, mediums for Sabetti, so he's gonna have an advantage. Apex opts to go out on the soft tire, so he needs to really stretch them if he wishes to go to the end. Mediums for Pervisage gets held up a bit. There's a double stack at the Renault garage. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I understand that some people might get competitive, but those kind of reports we were seeing and everything was just basically too much. So if me or Mark win on Thursday, you will win the championship, correct? As there is now dry tires on everyone's cars, with Denja, Fontenau and Reproduce being the ones to soldier it out on the wet conditions on the dry tires. No visible wear on Reproduce tires, but he will stop now and should rejoin around 5th or 6th. It will be a tight one, and he should pick the medium tires for this stint. As Fontenau and Denja, the Williams pairing, will inherit the top 2 spots with the hard tires. Fontenau, I don't think, he just might be able to go into the end, but his tires are definitely gonna hit the cliff in the end. As Slimmy has pitted again and unfortunately sped in the process. Oh, okay, so it will definitely be a dramatic season finale on Thursday. Very much looking forward to that. As for now, we see Reproduce emerging in P5 ahead of Pervisage. So the interesting strategy of soldiering it out don't seem to have benefited Reaper Dude, unfortunately. Very brave though, and allows him to finish very good. Even though if it would be just a P5, still a very good result. With Cam and Noob Squid, the only drivers without penalties, it's a whole lot of 3 seconds for the top 5. Wicked in 6th has 9. Pervy with 6. Slimmy with 11 seconds. One of them being that 5 second, which we unfortunately cannot remove as that was a speeding penalty. 6 for Zab, 12 for Dublade, and 6 for Cillian at the back. Sabetti now getting the new fastest lap, which is instantly trashed by Apex in the softs. And let's see if the gap is narrowing down. Oh, it is, but I think Apex should really be mindful with his tires here. Okay, I see, Rossi. Well, I'm gonna try my best. I'm just trying to clinch P5 in the standings. I don't think I have chance for a lot more, but I'm still very happy with that if I manage to do that, because, well, I joined mid-season after being dropped from tier 1, which was okay though. Those guys were just way too quick for me. Oh, Slimmy nearly crashes in the back of Cam, but just manages to keep it away from contact. Nice 3-way battle behind Wicked here. There is only 9 laps remaining once they come round the final corner for the next time. ERS for Slimmy, using a lot of his ERS, not going for a stupid dive or anything, just holding behind of Cam. Apex with yet another fastest lap. Oh, Cam has a bit of a slide on the medium tire, but manages still to keep the tires rolling and pointing into the right direction. Last corner, Slimmy will use a lot of his ERS. Cam has dropped away from the DRS, or just opens it up late. Goes for a move on the inside, but quite doesn't get it to work. Another DRS straight coming really quickly though. Slimmy getting the DRS, Cam doesn't, and should go past, attacking on the inside, but taps the side pod of Cam and goes round. Slimmy's race takes yet another step into the wrong direction, and he taps the wall and will fall miles off. Oh, and Cillian has had to retire, but does so in the pit, so I don't think we will see another safety car. Now Apex trying to hunt down Sabetti with a tire advantage for now, but we do gotta keep in mind that those tires need to last until the end of the race, which I think personally that will be a bit of a stretch. Apex having a bit more ERS than Sabetti, but both have plenty to fight with. Yeah, so with your tire wear, they go 7 laps, so Apex might just have to pit again. Sabetti in recharge mode still retains his podium position though. But for how long? Of course, we gotta keep in mind that Apex is gonna struggle with tire wear going to the end. Rossi, if you're still watching this, what you reckon? Will Fontanel's tires in the race lead with the 15 lap old hards go to the end? Because I personally don't think they will not be. I don't know if he's at a moment, but his teammate has catched him a bit. Okay, so 36 laps until it's puncture town. So Fontanel should go to the end, but he's gonna struggle with wear compared to his teammate, the championship leader. Will there be Williams team orders to clinch this team 1-2? Whoa! No, by judging by that, huge moment for Denja, losing the rear end entirely, but managing to just the slightest tap on the right rear tire. So now Dan just gotta do all that work again, as Apex is now close again on the soft tire. Let's see who will get the better exit. I think it was relatively equal. Sabetti in recharge mode, whilst Apex is not. With a lot more speed, has a look under the inside, but doesn't go for the gap. Very wise of the driver there to think otherwise. No, just save the resources and try for another push. Of course, very hard to overtake here. As Reaper dude, who formerly looked set to win, has to pit again and will drop out, almost out of the points, but rejoins the track in P10. And this battle is still raging on, with both of the drivers using all of their ERS here. $10-11 wings, that's high, boy. But you need to have high wings around Singapore. As there's a virtual safety car for some reason. I don't believe no one had to retire or anything. But that will save Sabetti in P3 for one time at least. Oh, and there's a drive-through penalty for Wicked. He's gonna suffer from that massively. And Denja has to pit. Goes for the soft tires. Is he thinking to take the P4 and probably opt for the fastest lap? Or just playing it safe to get to the finish? Oh, right. Cam has indeed crashed and lost his front wing. And now probably has to pit for repairs and will do so. There's a fight for P8. My good friend Dublade attacking Pervisage with the Haas against the Mercedes, using a lot of ERS. Going for the inside line. Pervisage doesn't leave any space on the inside there, and will retain what is now P7 ahead. Pervisage with no battery or fuel left whatsoever. Dublade goes for a dive on the inside and will get it to stick. Very nice move from Dublade. Of course, Pervisage seems to have some kind of front wing damage, thus will not be challenging Dublade for positions anymore. And it's round probably 4078 with Apex against Denja. And I think Apex is gonna struggle with the tire wear now. You see, Rossi, if you're still watching, I didn't really pay attention to my Singapore setup, as I knew I was gonna miss the race anyway. But I think I had 911 too. I don't have a wet setup for Singapore, which I should probably, because there is usually a high chance of rain around the Marina Bay circuit. Wicked Prophet comes in to serve his drive-through, but will probably rejoin in the P6. Ooh, 810, so pretty aggressive at that. It will be actually pretty tight with Doublade coming around the first corner. And Wicked Prophet will lose out to him and Reproduce even. So it will be P8, at least on track. But the penalties, Doublade has 18 seconds of them. So he's probably gonna fall way off. Interesting to see if he can get points. Sponsor now with 19 laps on those hards, and of course during the rain stint, no visible wear in them. That's only 3 laps to actually 4 laps to go. Yes. As Danger expectedly gets the fastest lap, which is now 1:39 flat. Yeah, that's true. I'm eager to see if we will have this exciting season finale with plenty of drama in Tier 2, and of course in other tiers as well. Tier 5 will also go right down to the wire. Reproduce has managed to go past Doublade. Of course, with the tire advantage, with the softs that should go to the end. He's probably gonna retain his position there. As now Apex Turbo has started to fall, and there is very visible wear, at least you can see on the front tires. And actually in the rears. So if he's thinking to go to the end, he might be on the way to puncture down. Yeah, it's very weird. In some tracks, hards is just undrivable with any setup you could think of. Take Mexico, for example. The hards just simply feel horrible there. As Apex has now completed 8 laps on that set of softs, he's gonna have to save them if he wishes to go to the end. Denja just hammering away with the goodness new softs, and will probably have the fastest lap going to the finish. And if Apex will save his tires, as he should, he might actually be gaining on him. Yeah, I noticed. So 3 laps remaining. If he keeps dropping at that rate, of course with the added tire wear, ever increasing tire wear, there still might be a contest for P3, as there is another 2-second penalty for Doublade. Wicked Prophet now harassing from behind. Will have the DRS advantage going to the main straight. Will not go for dives just yet. But another DRS straight coming very soon. Similar kind of exits for the both of them. Wicked Prophet with a lot of ERS and the DRS advantage. Doublade's defense on the outside and will retain his P7 for now, but he has a ton of penalties, so he might not just be able to keep that position once we come to the line. Denja has just started the penultimate lap of the penultimate round, and seemingly will be able to claim the victory. 21 laps on the hards, very impressive number. even through the rain, he stayed out and kept his car intact. Although, as you might have seen when I was spectating him, he was really struggling on the wet weather. Anyways, Doublade and Wicked Prophet still going at it. As they're about to start the penultimate lap as well. Not a lot of ERS left for both. Wicked Prophet gets a wicked exit out of the last corner and will prevail over Doublade, going into the first corner, fair and square. The DRS will be with Doublade going to the second DRS straight, so if he gets a good exit he might just be able to challenge to get it back. But seemingly isn't able to do so. Has more battery than Wicked though. And does attend it around the outside. Doublade has yet another 3 second. He's up to 24 seconds. He's gonna plummet down, probably to the back of the pack. Whoa! Denja and Apex Turbo retire on the final lap. What happened there? Regardless, it's the final lap, and there will be no safety cars. Sorry that I missed what was happening, but on the main straight, the two drivers collide, and that will promote Zab into podium position. This is gonna blow the championship battle wide open, with Fontana probably claiming the championship lead, as he's gonna cruise to a comfortable win here. But wow, what drama here on the penultimate round of the season. I gotta see. So yeah, Fontana will be tied on points if we finish how it stands. Anyways, Fontana coming around the final corner, the fireworks go off, and Fontana wins in Singapore and will be tied for the lead in the championship. Sabetti will finish second. Now, due to the unfortunate incident we saw, or unfortunately we missed, Zab will be promoted in third. But there's definitely gonna be words said about that one. Oh, so it was Apex who lost it on the final corner and hit him. Wow, well, that's probably gonna be analyzed later in the stewards. And Zap comes home for third. Reaper dirt after a very bold strategy. Oh, and Doublade gets disqualified on the final lap for too many track limit penalties. He could have gotten points but misses out. So, due to being lapped behind, Denja and Apex will finish P8 and 9th. With Noob Squid, I don't know for sure, but I think he just might be opening up his scoring tally for the season. Finishing P6 as the lone Ferrari. And Slimmy coming home is 7th. What a dramatic finish here. And what a setup for the final round in Brazil. In 1 week, we come back with Tier 5. Yeah, Denja will still get the fastest lap point as well, as he completed the required distance, as they were on the final lap, and there were lapped cars in between. So yeah, going through the final standings, we have Fontenau claiming the win, Sabetti, my fellow countryman, in second, Zab in third, Reproduced after utilizing a bold strategy comes on fourth, very nice finish for him, just missing out on the podium though. Cricket Prophet in fifth, Noob Squid, I think he might be opening up his scoring tally, comes home sixth. Blamey, after certainly an eventful race, comes home seventh. Denja and Apex with the massive incident on the final lap, which we will definitely talk about later on, come home 8th and 9th, as they did complete the required distance with lapped cars Camage and Purvis Age behind. And of course with the unfortunate disqualification of Dublade. He had completed the required distance and would have scored points had he just drove into the finish without penalties, but I can understand it. Singapore is a very hard circuit. Wow. So Denja will retain his championship lead after all. And I think Fontenau will claim P2 in the drivers and Apex Turbo will be third. And Sabetti might be somewhere amongst them. Anyways, it's gonna be it was a very dramatic finish to this one, and it will certainly be a very interesting season finale in 1 week in Brazil. Anyways, always nice to broadcast some tier 5 action, plenty of drama, and you never know what really is gonna happen. My name was alluPallu. We will see you next week with the season finale in Brazil. Until then, goodbye.